Hi, this is Catherine Morgan from Point A to Point B Transitions, and today I am talking to Carol Roth. Hi, Carol.
Hey, Catherine, what's going on?
Oh, well, I wanted to ask you about what makes a successful event. I know you're coming off an event. I asked you how it went, and you said it was the best it ever
Yeah,
was. What, first of all, congratulations.
thank you.
And second of all, what makes for a really successful event from your point of view?
So I think that people's wants and desires out of events have changed, and it certainly depends on your own customer base. So you have to know what it is that they're there for and make sure that you are delivering that experience to them. But a couple things that really stick out to me is that people's attention spans have gone from this to like this. And so whenever you're engaging with people, whether it be on a stage with presenters or whether they have to stand in line, if you've got a consumer type of event, you have to make sure that you're doing things to capture their attention. I was at this particular time, something that was consumer oriented. Most of my stuff is B2B, and people had to wait to enter a store. And one of the cool things that we did this year is we had a holding area for the people who were ready to get into the store with the products outside on display so that they knew as soon as they got in there what was going on. And then there was free coffee and free tea and free popcorn and ways to sort of engage. There was a little spot for pictures. And so it made that experience feel not like they were standing in line and waiting for something, but really more of an engaging experience. And then by the time they got into the store, they knew what they wanted, and it was a 5-minute experience instead of a whole bunch of people in the store crowded for 30 minutes and very frustrating. So I think if you can anticipate their needs and try and make those little instances more engaging and more fun and minimize the time that they have to pay attention and or that they're standing around doing nothing, that's going to really help your event.
Excellent. And how do you keep people engaged? It was a multi-day event,
Yeah.
correct? It wasn't just like a half day something, get people together. How do you plan for the longer time frame? I know I usually have a meltdown by evening of day 2 of a 3-day event. I'm like, my introvert's going, "Whoa!" How do you
well,
manage
well,
against that?
obviously you want to build up the excitement. You want to have them have that big high as they're leaving. So, you have to kind of leave your most exciting stuff to be at the end so that they want to stay there for that time. And I think varying the engagement and the activities, don't have all sit down events, don't have all keynote speakers, have some panels, have times where they're interacting with each other and making it more dynamic. The more that you can get people connected with each other around friendships and colleagues who are connecting around the event, the more successful it's going to be because they're going to continue those connections post-event, and it sort of takes the halo and the tail of what you're doing and it sort of spreads it out. So I think that having that variability and then, something that they really want to get out of it on each of the days with that big build at the end, because they're not going to remember every aspect of it, but they're certainly going to remember how they felt and they're going to remember that last note. And so if the last note is disappointing, it's going to be a disappointing event. If that last note is a high, it can sort of take away some of the other issues you may have along the way.
So you probably need to start strong and end strong for sure.
Yes.
Starting strong sets the tone, gets
Yep.
people excited, committed for the process. Ending strong leaves them with a good impression, makes them want to come back next year.
Yeah, and then listen to them. I mean, one of the really great things that a lot of the companies that I work with do is they ask the attendees, what did you like? What did you not like? And they incorporated it. Some of the actual structures of the event I was at were pieces of feedback that came from the people who had experienced it in the past and said, this is a better way to do it. And they took that idea and they executed it. And people loved the fact that it came from people who had been attending. So, being responsive is always a great idea as well.
And they would get some ownership, like this is our event.
Exactly. And just the fact that you've taken the time to listen to them and incorporate that, people want to be heard and they want to know that you're listening to their suggestions and actually taking action. And that scores a lot of bonus points.
Okay, and just one last question. Butts
Yes.
in seats, getting people out of their house and off their couch and to some location. Are there any tips on how you get people to come
Yeah.
to your event?
Yeah, you have to have a draw. You have to have a draw, and it depends on the B2B side. It could be that they're getting continuing education credit for it. It could be that there's a speaker there that they really want to meet, and that's a great way to do it. In the consumer side, it could be an exclusive product that's only available there. So there has to
Okay.
be that need, that's something that they have to come, because otherwise, why not just stay at home and watch it on the live stream if there's not something, some sort of experience you can get there. So even if it is a B2B thing with the speaker, maybe it's offering a dinner, and where VIPs can come and have a special sit down with the speaker and sit at their table. I mean, there are all different kinds of ways, but you do have to make that experience better for the people who come to the event than the ones who stay at home. Otherwise, it's just too easy to stay at home.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carol.